We're on the internet. Bismillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Hopefully all of you guys are doing okay. Maryam Ahmed, you guys are doing well. They're trying to skip the balagha.
No, we're not. Son, I just said
hypothetically, if we weren't, if something were to go wrong, I don't know. Things happen all the time, right, Joey? Yeah, boss.
That was weird.
Yeah. I'm just saying hypothetically. Yeah. I'm not saying something's going to happen, but I'm not saying nothing's going to happen either.
That's really what I said.
That's what you said.
I was like, hypothetically, if we don't show, what would happen? Like,
Okay, Mafia. Okay. All right. We're going to do Surah Humazah today, the parts we didn't do, and we're going to go through all the surahs we have done already on Mondays to make up for all the ayat that we have missed before. So we're starting here. If you did something for homework, that's well and good. We'll get to that eventually. Okay. So share the screen with the Ummah, please. And if we have any special guests, you are welcome to bring them on board, inshallah. Let me also log in. I'm going to have a fun session tonight with Dhul Qarnayn. Yeah, inshallah. Anyway, so we did Wailul likulli humazatin lumazah. I don't think we did. I think we did Alladhi Jama'a Malan wa Addada.
Yeah, wait. I don't think we ever did the surah.
We didn't do the surah?
I don't think so either.
Yeah, because we started at
really?
Wadduha. Yeah, it's Wadduha.
And then?
And then, how many ayats is Wadduha?
We did.
فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا
Then we went straight to Kafirun?
No, we did.
We did Wal Asr.
No, we did Inna A'tainaka al-Kawthar.
We did Al-Kawthar?
Yeah, we did that. And then we did قُلْ يَا الْكَافِرُونَ إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ.
So we did Ma'un as well.
Huh?
We did Ma'un as well, no?
I believe so. Maybe. Assalamu alaikum. What's your name? Assalamu alaikum.
Oh.
We can't hear you. Yes. Who am I speaking with?
Yeah.
Sofima, where are you calling from?
Sofima.
And where are you calling from?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Now I can hear you, but where are you calling from? Over?
Yeah, I'm calling from East London.
Oh. You sound like you're calling from the 1940s. Because of the radio.
Is it left?
Yeah, it's a little bit,
I don't know. The mic.
Yeah, it must be the mic, but that's okay. We can make out what you're saying.
Okay, we started from Kawthar and then we started Kawthar to the end.
Kawthar till the end.
Yeah, so Inna A'tainaka.
Okay. So let's go. In the Shani Kahul Abtar we did. I think there were some things missing in Al Kafirun. So let's just make sure we. Yes. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ لَا أَعْبُدُ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ وَأَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ. I believe we did all of it, no?
Yeah, no, we did because we talked about the ending too.
Yeah, and then the Dini part. I remember this. So Kafirun was done.
Did we do Izaja?
I don't think we finished.
Yeah, because my number 3 is a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, Maryam Ahmed Maryam.
Wa
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
It's
Maryam's
nice
busy
to
trying
meet
to
you.
find her eraser. Well, thank you. What do you do in London, East London?
What?
Housewife, mother of 6, busy.
MashaAllah. How old is the eldest and how young is the youngest?
The eldest is 19 and 3.
Wow. A 19 boy or girl? The 19-year-old is a boy or girl?
4 boys and 2 girls.
Oh, wow. Wow, those girls are royal princesses. I have 4 brothers.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. That's a good dynamic. And then those girls don't have to worry about anything. They get away with everything though. Don't they? No?
Yeah. No, I think
Yeah.
the boys are they're more like crazy.
Oh, the boys are crazy, yeah. But you still love them more because you're a mom. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to confess in public. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا. I believe فسبح بحمد ربك. There's something I wanted to tell you about that. And then إنه كان توابا. We'll do that part. So what I want to tell you is something that I'm sort of working on. It's a bit tricky. So you have sabbaha, yusabbihu, tasbihan, like allama yu'allimu ta'liman, right? Okay, but we're going to take it a little bit further. What happens sometimes in Arabic is, of course, sarf gives us the masdar tasbih, right? But the Arabs sometimes made up an extra masdar other than the official one. So they so they also tasbihan wa subhanan. Okay, that's still part of sabbaha. So what's the sarf of sabbaha will be sabbaha yusabbihu tasbihan wa subhanan. Like you know how jihadan wa mujahadatan, right? Now that's not going to happen for ta'liman. It's just going to be ta'liman. But for some words, they decided that they're going to give it extra masters, right? And how do we know that? They're just found in the language. They're used. And this is another reminder to all of you that the rules of grammar, they are not in charge of the language. The rules of grammar work for the language. The language does not work for the rules of grammar. Okay, the language is the boss, and the rules of grammar are the employees. Okay, and the language is, because rules of grammar are like rules in math, right? You figure out the equations, you figure out what's supposed to be on the left side, what's supposed to be on the right side, what number do you carry over. There are rules for that. And of course, we have rules in Nahw and we have rules in Sarf, right? That helps us figure out most of the language. But language itself is more than just the rules. Language is how people speak. How people speak. So for example, in English, we say will not. I will not go. I will not go. But you can also say I won't go, right? Who decided that will not can also be turned into what? Won't. And there may be a time, I don't know this officially, but probably if I do a little bit of study of that podcast, I'll find it. But at what point in the history of the English language did will not become won't? And the first people who used won't may have been considered gangsters. Why are you speaking like a gangster? What do you mean won't? Say will not, right? As if it wasn't official, But then over time, it became official. And now if you write won't, there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually formal English, right? So it's not the rule of grammar that came first. It's the usage of the people that makes the language what it is, right? So we are studying the rules of grammar that work in most of the language, but then, and also in Sarf. But then the thing that governs above that is the usage of the people. So what did the Arabs do at that time? How did they speak? What creative sort of exceptions did they make at some times? We have to just learn them as it goes. Okay? So sabbaha yusabbihu tasbihan wa subhanan. Subhanan. So those are two masdars. So when you see subhanallah, then it has to do with sabbaha yusabbihu. Even though the masdar doesn't officially match the masdar list that we have normally. Is that clear to everybody? Okay, let me see. Jawad, seems like everybody's okay with that?
Yep, good so far.
Okay. Now, the other thing now is when you say sabbaha, then you can say sabbaha Allah. Sabbaha Allah. And this would mean he declared Allah's perfection. Okay? He declared Allah's perfection. Or he considered Allah perfect. Sabbaha Allah also could mean he considered, he deemed, or he declared Allah perfect. So you can also say, maybe that's even nicer. He declared Allah perfect. Okay. Perfect meaning free of any flaws, right?
Yeah.
So when the tasbih is tanzih Allah amma la yaliquhu, to remove from Allah any thoughts or any concepts that are not suited for him. So that means he's free from every imperfection, which is why we're saying to declare Allah perfect. Okay. Now, in Arabic, there's also sabbaha lillahi. Sabbaha lillahi. This is also in Arabic. Okay. And the first one is also in the Quran in the form of a pronoun. Allah says, for example, what's the amr of sabbaha? Can you tell me from the saf? Sabbaha yusabbihu al-amru minhu?
Sabbih.
Good. فَسَبِّحْ, and an example of this first one is فَسَبِّحْهُ لَيْلًا طَوِيلًا. لَيْلًا طَوِيلًا. Okay? So, سَبِّحْهُ meaning declare him perfect. Declare him perfect in an ayah, right? So here, sabbih is the fi'l and the hu is the maf'ul bihi, right? So you can just have a direct maf'ul bihi. Okay. But then also with this word, you find sabbaha lillahi. Sabbaha lillahi. So you find in Quran many surahs, yusabbihu lillahi ma fi samawati wa ma fi al-ardi. Sabbaha lillahi ma fi samawati wa ma fi al-ardi. So now in this case, instead of mentioning Allah as lafzul jalala as the maf'ul bihi, now the lafzul jalala is being accompanied with what? A lam. It's accompanied with a lam, right? So what the concept I want you to understand is this word is muta'addi. Muta'addi means it takes a maf'ul bihi, right?
Yeah.
Is that clear? It takes a maf'ul bihi. How do I know that? Because sabbihu, the who is a maf'ul bihi, right? And muta'addi means you can add a what or a who. Like I ate, what did I eat? So I ate a cake would be the maf'ul bihi, right? So he declared who perfect? He declared Allah perfect. So that the word Allah would be the maf'ul bihi, right? The word is muta'addi. It takes a maf'ul bihi, but sometimes instead of the maf'ul bihi, I'm calling it MB, maf'ul bihi, you see the detail with a lam instead. Right? So this creates a bit of a question. Why is the lam there? When you can say, Sabbahallaha ma fi samawati wa ma fil ard. What's the lam doing there? Okay? So now the lam, the grammarians explain this lam in two ways. The lam here, lam has two explanations. And you need to know both. One is called lam at-ta'diyah. Okay. And the lam at-ta'diyah. And the other one is called lam at-ta'lil. These are technical words. We'll get deeper in grammar. We'll learn these terms better. But for now, I still want to just, because this word is so important, right? The tasbih of Allah is such an important concept. So I want you to have a little bit of depth and appreciation for the way that it's pronounced. So there's lam at-ta'diyah and lam at-ta'lil. So some grammar scholars say that this lam is lam at-ta'diyah when we say sabbaha lillahi. Other scholars say no, this is not lam at-ta'diyah, this is lam what? At-ta'lil. Lam at-ta'lil. Okay? So let me explain what this means. Lam at-ta'diyah means, let me explain lam at-ta'diyah first. Lam at-ta'diyah means this lam does not change the meaning whether you add it or not. Meaning, you know how this was a maf'ul bihi and it was nasab? And that's ta'diyah comes from muta'addi, by the way, right? Muta'addi. So the idea is this lam is still acting on the maf'ul bihi, so it's an extra lam. The lam is just extra, and that extraness just puts an extra stress on the maf'ul bihi. Like the maf'ul bihi is more important than even the fa'il. So the way what happened in balagha is you put an extra word there to make the listener feel like, wow, you're not just giving me nasab, you dropped the lam on top of that to make me feel like that maf'ul bihi wasn't enough. You made it a muta'alliq bil fi'l, you put a lam on it, this lam at-ta'diyah, without which you could have said it anyway. So it's like, you know how when someone says, I ate cake. Like, where's their stress?
The cake.
Now listen again. I ate cake. Where's the stress? I ate cake. Where's the stress? What I can stress I can stress ate, I can stress cake based on my antonations, right? What I'm stressing on. Now the Quran was going to be memorized and it was going to be recited over and over again. And maybe somebody decided to stress Sabbaha lillahi ma fis samawati. What did they stress? Sabbaha. Somebody else could say Sabbaha lillahi ma fis samawati wa ma fil. And what are they stressing now? They're stressing the ma. What Allah did in the grammar is that He actually preserved where the stress goes. You see that? So that, because depending on where you stress can actually change what you might think, with the thoughts that might come to you, how it would affect your feelings. So Allah preserved, the grammarians who say this is lam at-ta'diyah will say that sabbaha lillahi here is just stressing on the maf'ul bihi. Okay?
Yeah.
So, and of course, sabbaha lillahi is, again, it's muqaddam also. So it's another, because ma fi samawat wa ma fil ard is the fa'il. So the fa'il was later, and the muta'alliq bil fi'il came sooner. Do you understand the lam at-ta'diyah business?
Yeah.
Okay, lam at-ta'diyah is just when the maf'ul bihi was going to work anyway, and you just added a lam on top of it to stress it even further. Okay? So it doesn't really get a translation. Okay? Then there is lam at-ta'lil. Lam at-ta'lil. Lam at-ta'lil is actually the meaning of because of, for the sake of, due to. It's all about reason. The lam of reason. The lam of what? Reason. It's similar to the word lam. We see lam, it means for.
Yeah.
I made this, or I stood up for him. I stood up for him. What's the reason for which you stood up? Something to do with him.
Yeah.
Right? So the for can actually be because of him. Right? So in English also, the lam or the for can be used for that purpose. I did this for myself. Meaning, what was the reason for doing this? Myself. Right? So if this is lam ta'lil, then actually what this means is everything declares Allah's perfection, and it does it for the intention, for the purpose of Allah. Now, this is a tricky thing. Let me just translate this for you. If this is lam ta'lil, then it means the skies and the earth declare Allah perfect, right? But and this part, declare Allah perfect, has not been said yet. It hasn't been mentioned, because this would be a good translation if we go with lam ta'diyah if the word Allah was mentioned in nasab, but Allah is not mentioned in nasab. That would be the detail. But now I'll translate Allah perfect for Allah. Like, it's like saying, I pray to Allah for Allah. I remember Allah for Allah. Now, why would somebody say that? What do you think when someone's saying, when I pray to Allah for Allah? What are they denying? They're not just saying something, they're also denying something.
Oh, they're saying they pray to Him, to Allah Azza wa Jal.
Okay, they pray to Him, but for Him. I pray to Him for Him.
For Him. This was like, isn't what's that word?
Like if I say, I'm cooking this food for Mom.
Oh, you're just
what's Maryam telling you when she says, I'm cooking this for Mom?
Oh, only for her.
Not for you.
Yeah.
Not for myself. I'm cooking this out of love of Mom. Not because I want something in return from Mom, but Mom's enough of a reason.
Yeah.
What's the special occasion? Your mom.
Yeah.
You get it?
I can't get it.
So the idea, what I'm trying to get across is what lam does is it gives you the intention. The intention. What's really interesting is this phrase occurs in Madani surahs, and in many of them, it actually occurs in surahs that Allah is talking about the hypocrites. And the hypocrites have a problem with pure intentions, right? They're praying, but they're not praying for Allah, right? They're praying to Allah, but they're not praying for Allah. They're praying for show. They're praying for other benefits. They're praying for the sake of getting closer to the Prophet so they can have their opinions heard. They have other agendas for which they're praying for some of their own benefits. So in that sense, when you look at lam as lam at-ta'lil, then this becomes about the purity of intention. Everything does what they do for Allah, not because Allah will do something for them in return. You know how when people say, oh, I used to do a lot of prayer, I made so much istikhara, and then I still bought a car that didn't work. I don't pray anymore. But you didn't pray, you prayed to Allah, but not for Allah. You prayed to Allah for a car.
Yeah.
You understand? And when the car wasn't there, the prayer wasn't there anymore. You see? So this lillahi is actually very powerful. And of course, when there's room for that, when grammar scholars are going to say this could be lam at-ta'diya and it could be lam at-ta'lil, what we're actually learning is Allah wants us to think of both. Like Allah wants us on the one hand to appreciate the stress that's being placed on lafzul jalala, and on the other hand, He's also putting stress on the intention. Is that clear? So that's sabbaha lillahi. When you see lam in the Quran with tasbih, then these things come to mind. Then we come to the next one. Sabbaha bi hamdillah. Okay. Sabbih bihamdi rabbika. Fasabbih. Sabbih bihamdi rabbika. All right. So now we have the third one. We have sabbah Allah, which is directly maf'ul bihi is Allah. Lafzul jalala. We saw sabbih with lam. But this is not sabbih with nasb. This is not sabbih with lam. What is this one now?
Oh, B.
Ah, it's B. And actually, you know what? Declare blank perfect by praising your master, as one possible translation. Okay, declare blank perfect by praising your master. What is missing? What's the blank?
Oh, declare.
I'll make a red.
مفعول به.
Yeah, so make the sentence normal in English. Declare who perfect?
Declare Allah.
Declare Allah perfect by praising your master, right? Or declare your master perfect by praising your master, right? But what does Allah do? He said sabbih. Instead of saying sabbih rabbaka, declare your master perfect bihamdihi, by praising him. He didn't do that. He said sabbih bihamdi rabbika. So the your master part, which is expected, has not been said. As if, now when something isn't said, if I told you, for example, you're Arabic students, and I told you review. Review. Or if I said practice. Did I say review the material that I taught you this week? Or did I say practice for the exam that's coming? I just said practice. I know that doesn't mean you're going to practice singing. You're not going to practice whistling. You're not practicing how to like stick a pencil in your ear and pull it out the other ear.
I can do that.
Yeah, I can too. I'm really good. But that's not the point. When I said practice, what was clearly in your mind and in mind? Arabic. Practice the chapter, practice the lesson, right? So even if I didn't say practice your homework or practice the questions or practice what I didn't add a maf'ul bihi, it's understood because in my world with you, practice can only be not practicing push-ups and pull-ups. Practice can only be Arabic stuff, right? So now look at the word tasbih, sabbaha. The word sabbaha, Allah takes ownership of it as if the moment He says it, you can't put it with anybody else. So He doesn't even have to mention it and mention Himself. He doesn't have to mention Himself. It's automatic. And this is a very powerful way of Allah declaring who dare be thought of other than Him when the word tasbih comes up. So He doesn't have to say sabbih here at all. That's the idea. You get it? Is that clear?
Yes.
Online Ummah, Islamiyah. وغير الإسلامية. Is that clear? What was Sofima? You have a really interesting power generator behind you.
That's actually
No,
me,
it's
I
not
think.
coming.
Oh, are you
it's
charging your
not coming
helicopter?
from-
What is this?
I think somebody just started the washing machine.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Anyway,
It's actually a very quiet washing machine. Our washing machine sounds like somebody's trying to break into our home. Huh?
Ours is- I remember
When it fights the clothes inside?
Yeah.
Like it's like mad. Why did you
I
put this in me? This
yeah.
smells bad.
It
Yeah.
was like the dryer.
Those thick blankets
And
stuff.
like it
Oh,
started
the dryer
going-
when the buttons clank against the metal?
No, it wasn't even that. It was like it was going so fast, right? It started doing like
It started like
going like this.
this. It was like bouncing.
It was like bouncing. I got scared. I thought somebody
I
was trying to
turned it
rob
off.
us.
I'm so scared. I went in
Yeah,
there.
it's a
like,
possession.
I just hid in my
forgot
room. I was
to
like,
turn it off.
ain't no
Yeah.
way.
Washing Majin. Okay.
a lot of clears, but there's one request to
Repeat everything.
no, almost only a third of what you said. Write out the full explanation for Lam al-Ta'diyah.
Write out the full explanation of Lam al-Ta'diyah?
Yes.
Okay, you want fries with that? We were okay. Can I come back to Lam al-Ta'diyah when we finish this? Because now we're here. Then I'll lose this, and then we'll lose that too. So I'll come back to Lam al-Ta'diyah. I'll loop back around at the end. Okay.
Okay, so there's another question.
Okay. Yeah.
What does the bee do in Hamdi?
It stings. No, I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that. What you be doing? What you be doing?
That's so crazy.
You know? No?
That's good. You.
Okay, I'll just let it be. Okay, fine. Be like that.
I can imagine you're that one guy at the party.
It's just
At the party.
at the party. At the party? Did you say
No,
party?
I said at the party.
No, you said.
At the party again? You said party
No,
again?
you said party.
Okay.
I did not say
Anyway,
No, you.
declare. I'm gonna go back to this. Okay, so the ba is there's a few ways that ba can be used. We're gonna talk about one of them today, and this is the ba you use for using the help of something. So you're declaring Allah perfect, but you need the help of something. Okay, so for example, I can say I built this house B bricks. B bricks, meaning
With bricks.
utilizing bricks with the help of bricks.
Oh,
Utilizing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been commanded to declare Allah perfect. How do you declare Allah perfect? By the way, declaring Allah perfect is two things. Declaring Allah perfect is on my tongue. I declare Allah perfect. It's also in my heart, because you can say something on your tongue that's not really in your heart. So in your heart and your mind, it's inside your head. So it could be that somebody's declaring Allah perfect and considering Allah perfect without ever saying a word, but they're also doing tasbih. As they're contemplating Allah, they're doing tasbih without ever saying something with their mouth. Then on top of that, there's the declaration of the perfection of Allah when we obey Allah. Because when Allah says the skies and the earth are doing tasbih of Allah, how are they doing tasbih of Allah? By doing exactly what Allah told them to do. The sun was told to rise and it rises. The fire was told to burn and it burns, right? The plant was told to grow and it grows. The cloud was told to rain and it rains exactly where Allah told it to rain. So in obeying Allah, they're actually doing what Allah is describing, that act of obedience of the universe and Allah's submission. Allah is describing that as a kind of tasbih. وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُمْ. You can understand their tasbih, but that itself is an act of tasbih. Now, if we understand that, then tasbih becomes three things. Tasbih from my mouth, stuff I say. Tasbih in my heart and my mind, that's going on inside. And tasbih in my actual obedience. So my prayer is a kind of tasbih. Me eating halal food is a kind of tasbih. Me, earning halal income is a kind of tasbih. You understand? All of them become tasbih. Now, the issue is, if you are going to say tasbih, and if you actually feel tasbih, then why am I not living tasbih?
Yeah.
Right? Why am I not living it? Which is why in one of those surahs, I believe it's Surah As-Saf, Allah says the heavens and the earth have declared Allah perfect. They've done their tasbih. And then the next ayah he says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. Believers, why do you say what you don't do? What's he saying? why do you say tasbih and you don't do tasbih? You don't live tasbih. You've reduced tasbih to just words, right? But ayat like these, the ones that we're coming at here, are talking about something a little bit different.
Yeah.
They're saying if you want tasbih to come in your life, and how many kinds of tasbih did we say?
Two.
No, we said
Oh,
three.
three,
What were
sorry.
those three? I don't remember now.
The three tasbihs.
I have no idea.
One declaring, right?
Declaring by tongue.
That's
Sure.
that's
One.
fine.
By heart.
What was number two?
The heart.
The heart. Yeah. Maria, what's number three?
Which ones did we say already?
Oh, tongue and heart.
Tongue and heart.
Where's the
Mouth.
third? Mouth is separate from tongue. And then the teeth are next. And then the molars.
The molars.
Yeah.
It's
So
molars.
we did heart.
Molar.
Um,
Molar.
oh, your mind, right? So
Somebody wrote yoga, heart, obedience.
They're really trying to say
That's
that.
oh, tongue. Okay.
You just
all right.
fumbled the bag.
You good. You good. Okay.
it's mind.
Yeah. Say, feel, and do. That's a good way to put it. Very nice, Shazia. Say, feel, and do.
What?
Okay.
Say?
Say,
Yeah.
say, feel,
Yeah, I guess.
and do.
Actions.
Right.
Okay.
Now, so there's three levels of tasbih, right? Now, somebody says, I want to get to the point where I accomplish all three. And maybe we're not there. Maybe we need a starting point, right? So ayat like these, they give us the starting point. The starting point is, okay, maybe you're not like the rest of the skies and the earth, and you're not doing tasbih in every way that you're supposed to. Your tasbih is missing something still. I don't know what I did. I think I've made some of it big and some of it small. Okay, yeah. Let me go back to, yeah, that's better. Okay. Then this is saying, then get to the point where you declare Allah perfect in every way, and you will do so by utilizing, what will be the tool by which you'll get to the tasbih level? Hamdi Rabbika.
Praising the Lord.
By praising your master. Meaning, being grateful to Allah is actually part of considering Allah perfect. And being grateful to your master, this is important. Allah could have said bihamdillah, right? And we talked about al-idhar fi maqam al-idmar, meaning Allah used a noun here even though we expect a pronoun. Allah has already said إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ اللَّهِ, at least because Allah is mentioned twice already. But he didn't say فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ اللَّهِ. He said فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ. So Allah was mentioned, and Allah was mentioned. Then at the end, we're reminded He is your Rabb. And you'll notice that in the ayat of tasbih, one of the common phrasings Allah uses is He uses tasbih with Rabb. This is very common for Allah to do. Okay? وَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ حِينَ تَقُومُ. You know, سَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ, and you know, Surah Qaf, you'll find it, and some of those 50 to 55, so 50 to 56 surahs, when you find tasbih there, فَسَبِّحْ بِاسْمِ رَبِّكَ الْعَظِيمِ.
Yeah. Doesn't
Right.
Surah Ra'd use this too? I'm pretty sure it does, not?
Surah Al-Ra'd, yeah, Surah Al-Ra'd has, and then of course سَبِّحْ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ الْأَعْلَى. By the way, سَبِّحْ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ الْأَعْلَى. Sabbih is the fi'l, amr.
Yeah.
Isma is the maf'ul directly. It's not سَبِّحْ بِاسْمِ رَبِّكَ الْأَعْلَى. It's سَبِّحْ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ الْأَعْلى. Right? So that's more direct. But anyway, so what do we learn from Sabbih bi hamdi rabbika? We learn that first of all, hamd has to be. Let's make it easy. I'm doing hamd of Allah because of this banana. I'm doing hamd of Allah for a steady internet connection. I'm doing hamd of Allah because I have a chance to teach you. I'm doing hamd of Allah because I'm in a state of health. I'm doing hamd of Allah because my kids are okay. Hamd of Allah because my parents are okay. There's hamd of Allah for tons of reasons, right? But when you mention the mudaf ilayh, then like when you have a mudaf ilayh relationship, this is actually studied in balagha. In grammar, I taught you the relationship between a mudaf ilayh is of, right?
Yeah.
But the relationship between mudaf ilayh carries many meanings. And one of the meanings actually becomes ta'zimul mudaf ilayh, meaning the fact, or ta'lil also, meaning the fact that he is your Rabb. The fact that he's your Rabb, meaning the fact that he decided that you have someone like him in your life, is enough for you to praise him And every time you're praising him and you connect this idea to Allah's rububiyyah, Allah's mastery over you. Ya Rab, you're the master, I'm the slave. You're the master, I'm the slave. I stop feeling entitled. I stop feeling like I deserve. I recognize everything he's done as a gift, and he didn't owe me anything. I owe him everything down to my existence, and he owes me nothing. And that with that mentality, when I praise him, then I'm not saying I'm praising him when he does things I like, and I'll stop praising him when he does things I don't like. Because then it's like somebody saying, he's pretty perfect when he's on my terms, but he's not so perfect to me so that's not tasbih, is it? Because tasbih means what? Declaring Allah perfect. So if your hamd becomes good, then you'll get to tasbih. Utilizing tasbih, you will get utilizing hamd, you'll get to tasbih. And that means if your hamd is missing something, you cannot get to the tasbih of Allah. You see that? There's a deep connection made between praising your Rabb and tasbih, and the declaring Allah perfect. A lot of people, that the crisis they have in their faith is when Allah puts them in experiences in life that they don't like. Allah puts people in their life they don't like. Allah puts, trials in their life that they don't like. Allah puts difficulties in their life that they don't know. Who likes difficulties, man? Who likes challenges? Allah puts, people that betray them, or people that hurt them, or people that, people that do injustice to them in some way, or they had an opportunity and they missed an opportunity, and they had, they had a chance and they didn't take it, and other people got that chance, and they feel like Allah's, giving me the short end of the stick. Everybody else is doing good, and I'm missing out, And when they do that, then it becomes harder for them to praise Allah, because it's on their mind is a complaint against Allah. And you can't praise someone you're complaining about. I can't be complaining that you're not studying and praise you at the same time. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm either complaining or I'm praising and thanking, right? You can't have both. And that's why it's as if one way I think about this is tasbih is the goal, hamd is the means to that goal, and hamd itself is a goal. And the means to that goal is to recognize that he's your Rabb. He's not just someone who does stuff for you. He's your Rabb. When you recognize that authority and your place as Abd, then hamd becomes easy. And when that hamd becomes easy, then tasbih becomes easy. It's all this connection. And so what this does then is our declaration of the hamd of Allah, and us sincerely doing hamd of Allah over and over again, will eventually build that mindset inside us. Okay? But yeah, so this is a big bucket, متعلق بالفعل. That is correct. So بحمد ربك is a متعلق بالفعل of سبح. Okay.
Wouldn't it be مضاف متأخر or not?
Yeah, hamd would be the mudaf.
Yeah.
Rabbi would be the
Mudaf
mudaf ilayh. Then Rabbi would be the mudaf, and then ka would be the mudaf ilayh. Sabbih bihamdi rabbika.
And then wastaghfir is, and seek forgiveness.
Yeah, and then wastaghfirhu. These words are like our entire, sometimes there are ayat that are like our entire life summarized. And they're such small ayat. Wastaghfirhu. Sabbih bihamdi rabbika wastaghfirhu. If a person can accomplish these two things, they're good. They're solid on Judgment Day. They're solid. Why? Because if you're seeking the praise of Allah all the time, you're doing the praise of Allah all the time, then you don't see a problem with what Allah does. Now you begin to see a problem with what? What you do. What you do. That's the difference. You will either become someone who sees a problem with what Allah is doing, with what Qadar is doing, with what the universe is doing, or you'll see a problem with what you're doing. When you become a person of hamd, then you truly start seeing what you and I are doing wrong. You stop looking at what anybody else is doing wrong. You're just too aware of what you yourself are doing wrong. Like, think of it this way. Even if you see somebody standing in a fire, right? They don't even realize it. They're standing right next to a fire. It's about to touch them. And you're like, hey, man, just come on. Man, I need to comment. These people are so close to a fire right now. How come they're not getting away? And you're not realizing, homie, that you are yourself next to a different kind of fire. Maybe not the same kind of fire as them, your own kind of fire, but you're too busy, rescuing that. You know what? You need to cover yourself from this flame You have your own flames to cover yourself from. And if you realize that, then you wouldn't be so bent out of shape over anybody else, that you need to rescue, in a sense, I did not know. What? Give him your glasses, buddy. Okay. So, wastaghfirhu, and now it's time for you to learn this also, because I will ask you about it. Istaghfara. Istaghfara. Istafsara. Istaqbala. Istamala. These are the ist family, right?
Yeah.
The ist family. They have lots of things they can do, but there are three most popular things you should know. Number one, when something comes in the istaghfara family, it has to do with asking for, seeking, and wanting. And now these three things seem similar, but they're not. I won't even put number one. It's just, that's all of it. Asking for, seeking, and wanting. Just three things.
Yeah, but there's four, isn't it?
Asking for is one.
Yeah. Seeking and then wanting. But there's
Yeah, no, I'm saying these are just examples. Any words that come in
okay.
this family, most of them will have these three qualities. So if ghafara has to do with forgiveness, istaghfara means what? Asking for forgiveness. Okay, fine. I'm sorry, Allah. Okay, that's asking for forgiveness. It also means what? Seeking forgiveness, which is different from asking for forgiveness. Why? Because when someone's asking for forgiveness, that's what's on their tongue. But if they're seeking it, that's what's also in their heart.
Yeah.
Right? And you can seek forgiveness by doing good deeds, not just by saying I'm sorry. You can seek forgiveness by making things right. Question?
No questions.
Okay, I heard a sound. Okay. And then wanting, so seeking, you're actually doing something to get forgiven.
Yeah.
Okay, like think of it this. Think of this. Let's just add water to the end. Asking for water is different from what? Seeking water,
Yeah.
which is different from what? Wanting water. Is it possible that I can ask for water without wanting it?
Yeah.
I don't really want it. I'm just asking for it anyway. Yeah, it's possible. Maybe I'm asking for somebody else. But so asking is one dimension. Seeking means even if I don't find somebody who will give it to me, I'm going to go look for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on a quest for water. That's seeking water. And then wanting water tells you what's going on inside you. You really want to do it, this, right? So when we say wastaghfirhu and we say seek his forgiveness or ask for his forgiveness, just remember that we have to use one of those words, but really all three apply. They all three apply, okay? And that really is a comprehensive definition of istighfar. If someone's asking Allah for forgiveness, do their actions actually show that they're seeking Allah to forgive them, or they're doing the same sin over and over again? Clearly, they're seeking a different path, but asking for forgiveness. You can't be running away from water and then asking for it. It has to align, right? So this is why I say this ayah or ayat like these are very comprehensive. Like they say very little, but they capture the heart of our deen. Wastaghfirhu. And of course, who is the maf'ul bihi, right? Sabbih wastaghfir, right? Wastaghfirhu. He then says, innahu kana tawwaban. Innahu kana tawwaban. Very beautiful words. Now let's look at innahu tawwabun. And the difference. We'll look at a few things and we'll wrap up today. First thing, when you have a sentence and then you at the end of that sentence immediately jump into inna something, right? There's no wa in between. You see that?
Yeah.
Sabbih bihamdi rabbika wastaghfirhu wa innahu. No, it's not like that, right? They are next to each other. They're fused together. Okay. This is kamalul ittisal. This is done for lots of reasons. One of the most common reasons is you can almost think of it as the word because is understood.
Mhm.
What's between these two sentences?
Because.
Because. Okay. And inna is a very common way of actually meaning without saying because. Like, let me just give you an example in English, so you don't think this is some abstract thing. Study. For sure you'll get an A. Study. For sure you'll get an A. What am I actually saying?
If you
Study, because if you do,
Mhm. Okay.
for sure you'll get an A. Call your best friend. He loves you. Call your best friend. He loves you.
Mhm.
What are you saying? Call your best friend because,
He loves you.
but you didn't have to say because. It was understood.
Mhm.
You understand?
Yeah.
So there's a causal relationship between فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْهُ and إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا. Meaning, why should you do tasbih and istighfar? Why should you continue to do it? Because Allah is the one that has always been someone who keeps turning back and turning back and turning back. That's the reason you should do it. إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا. There's Allah saying, no one of your istighfars went unheard. No one of your tasbihs went unheard.
Wait, so start. So kana, the meaning changes from he was.
Right, so let's talk about that now. If the bottom sentence that I wrote, innahu tawwabun,
Yeah.
right? That's mubtada khabar, right? Easy enough?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and this is going to help with our conversation now. Taba, yatubu is like what fi'l memorized.
Taba like qala
Yep.
yaqulu.
Tawbatan fahuwa,
Ta'ibun.
so ta'ibun,
Oh,
yes, very nice.
Yeah.
Ta'ibun,
Mhm.
okay? So, taba, yatubu, tawbatan fahuwa, ta'ibun. Okay. Now, you should know a couple of things about this word, but right now, just one thing. Ta'ib is, if taba means he repented
Mhm.
or he turned back. Yatubu, he turns back.
Yeah.
Tawbatan, to turn back, meaning to turn back to someone seeking their forgiveness. It's a loaded word. What's a ta'ib?
A turner.
A turn.
Yeah, the turner backer for forgiveness. The one who turns back.
A back
to-
turner.
No, that's the opposite.
That's different.
Oh, turn backer.
A turn, the one who turns back to apologize. Or someone who messed up and they're too ashamed to face the person that they messed up with. But someone who turns back and comes back or someone's defiant, like I didn't do anything wrong, but eventually they overcome their ego, they turn back and they apologize, right? So that's a ta'ib, right? Make sense?
Mhm.
Okay, that's an ism fa'il, yes?
Yeah.
Now, ta'ib literally means the one who turns back. Now, let me show you two people. There is the forgiver, and there is the forgiveness seeker. And imagine that the forgiver is facing. Oh, wow, that just happened. Come on, Microsoft. Stop it. I was trying to give a visual.
Come on, Bill.
Okay, that'll work. Okay. That's not going to help you at all. I'm going to use my webcam. Let's see if I mess this up. I wouldn't do this if I didn't think it was important or fun.
Another one here.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me put this on. Help? Yeah, it helped. Oh, yeah, I need to put this guy on. Okay, I'm good now. Can you guys see that clearly? Jawad, can you put that on camera? On the tabletop? No, put that central, yeah.
Wait, what?
What?
It's delayed.
I got confused. I was like, why?
It's delayed. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. What happened to my markers? What did you do with my markers?
What? Who?
My markers.
Are they on that thing over there with the pens?
Are they?
I mean,
No.
they cleaned up. Oh yeah, look, that's Expo. Come on.
No, this is a highlighter. It's not gonna work.
No, not that. It's not. Look, right there. That's
These are
us.
not the. These are not the happy ones. These are
The
black.
chalk ones.
Okay, let's see if this works. Does this work? It's pretty bad. Okay, let's try the green one.
Oh,
That's even worse.
that's. I mean, it works.
It'll work. I have. No.
You shake it a little more. It's been like a month.
Okay, wait. I have a pink one. Why do I have a pink one? You can't see any of this, can you?
No, it's really dark.
Where is it? This
Oh,
thing?
Just use the black.
I'm gonna
Sad. Maze black.
wait.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that
yeah.
actually looks nice.
That okay, yeah. Okay. Okay. Now
No, it's not.
the word was taba. Yes.
Yeah.
The word was taba. Now there is the forgiver.
Mhm.
Let's just use each other as an example. Okay.
Mhm.
I made you really mad, and you're supposed to be the forgiver
Mhm.
with an E.
Come on,
And-
it's not.
I'm supposed to be the one that gets
Forgiven.
forgiven.
Mhm.
So that's me right here, right?
Yeah.
And we're mad at each other. So you turn this way, humph, and I turn the other way, humph, right? So we're just our backs towards each other, right? Because we're not facing each other. Because you're mad at me, and I don't want to get forgiven either. Like
Yeah.
I'm not. Well, why should I say sorry?
Mhm.
So it was a little flap. Only one tooth was lost.
So let's be twins today. Just for the E, no min.
No man. Yeah, no man. No man. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah. So if that happens, right?
Mhm.
Then if you're doing tauba yatubu means to turn back.
Yeah.
So then I turn back this way.
Mhm.
But that doesn't work if what doesn't happen?
I don't forgive you.
If you don't turn back
Mhm.
this way.
Yeah.
Because if I turn this way and you still have my back to me, then
Mhm.
that's no good.
Yeah.
For this to be complete, not only do I have to turn back, you also have to
Turn back.
turn back. So when I turn back to get forgiven, I use taba, the same word, taba yatubu tawbatan fahuwa ta'ibun, but we use it with ila.
Mhm.
Taba ila. Okay, so the one who wants to get forgiven,
Yeah.
we're not talking about Ahmad and Nu'man anymore. We're actually, of course, we're actually literally talking about Allah Azza wa Jal and the slave. So the forgiver is Allah, and the forgiven one is the abd,
Yeah.
right? The forgiver is Allah, and the forgiven one, or the one who wants to get forgiven, is the slave.
Yeah.
So when you use ila,
Mhm.
you're turning towards Allah. But Allah, taba ala,
Mhm.
means he turns towards the slave.
Yeah.
When this word is used with ila,
Mhm.
it's for the slave turning to Allah. When this word is used for ala, it's Allah turning towards the slave.
Slave.
Is that clear?
Mhm.
Sophie, is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if this is clear, then let's do the taba yatubu tawbatan
Ta'ibun.
fahuwa ta'ibun. Ta'ibun. Yeah? Ta'ibun is what? Someone who turns towards the other.
Mhm.
Allah can also be ta'ibun, but with ala. And I will be ta'ibun with ila.
Ila.
Allahu ta'ibun alayya, ana ta'ibun ilayhi. Okay? This is very important now. Now, the word is not ta'ib, it's actually tawwabun.
Yeah.
That is not the word?
Yeah.
Tawwabun? Now, tawwab is fa'alun,
Mhm.
like ghaffarun. Oh, it's too far down?
Yeah.
Erase this a little bit. It's like ghaffarun and qahharun and let's see, jabbarun. Notice a similarity?
Yeah.
Shadda alif, shadda alif, shadda alif. And now we're seeing tawwabun. right? When words spell like this with a shadda and an alif, like a fatha in the beginning, then a shadda, basically if they sound like tawwab, that means someone who does something a lot and repeatedly, right? And to perfection until they get perfect at it. This is why this is used for khabbaz, to make the bread. I brought this up to you before, right? This is called mubalagha. This pattern is called mubalagha. Now, this is important. Allah in this ayah is, so Allah is the forgiver.
Yeah.
And I am the one wanting to get forgiven. So here is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And here is the abd, the slave. And the slave, Allah is in this ayah tawwabun.
Yeah.
Allah is tawwabun. Let me show you an ayah. Inna Allah yuhibbu at-tawwabin wa yuhibbu al-mutatahhirin. Allah says Allah loves at-tawwabina. What does that mean?
Those who turn back.
The same word tawwab is being used for Allah, and the same word tawwab is being used for the slaves of Allah. Yeah? So when it's being used for Allah, it's tawwab ala abdihi. And tawwabina ila rabbihim. Same word.
Yeah.
The beauty of this word is that it is one of the most rare words in the Quran that describe both Allah and the slave. That's actually one of the most beautiful parts about this word, is that this word describes Allah and it describes the slave of Allah, because actually, in one sense, they are doing the same thing. The slave is turning back towards Allah with humility, with shame, with guilt, with hope. He's turning back. And the master is turning back towards the slave, accepting his humility and rewarding it, accepting his shame and forgiving it, and fulfilling his hope of forgiveness. So they're both turning, and this act of turning, is actually a very loving thing. Like the imagery in it is very loving. Two entities that have deep love for each other turning back towards each other, right? That's what this is. So in the ayah, now we can go back to the screen. When Allah says, فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْهُ, you see the last part, وَاسْتَغْفِرْهُ, seek his forgiveness. Obviously, when you're thinking about forgiveness, you're thinking about your mistakes, your sins, and all that stuff, right? And Allah is filling you with hope. He has always been someone who keeps turning back to you and keeps turning back to you. Every time you turn back to him, he turned back towards you. So this is not something new that Allah is going to do. He's always been doing it. And then you can appreciate why just Allah saying innahu tawwab isn't enough. Allah said innahu kana tawwaban. What does kana do? What does kana mean?
Oh, he was.
So certainly he, Allah, he was, and actually we're going to translate he was as he has always been. Kana with Allah will be what? He has always been. He has always been what? Tawwab. He has always been Tawwab, the one who accepts Tawbah over and over and over and over and over again. And this is actually establishing that you should be doing this now, but maybe people lose hope in Allah because they forget that Allah hasn't always been Tawwab. As if, why would he be Tawwab with me now? Because he always has been. You changed, you went in a different direction, you messed up, you left him, he never left you. He was the one who turned. You just show him one turn towards him. He shows you a turn back towards, towards you. So innahu kana tawwaba would become a ta'lil. And the last thing I'll share with you here is two mubtadas and a khabar, right? Innahu mubtada, kana mubtada, and then khabar.
Yeah.
This can also be done for ikhtisas purposes, meaning he alone has been the one that is tawwab. And that's Allah's way of saying there are other people that if you wrong them or they wrong you, you may not want to turn back towards them, and they may not want to turn back towards you. Only Allah has that. And Allah, no matter how much you mess up, you turn back towards him, and his door stays open. He doesn't close the door on anybody, right? So those are all the things that are inside of this ayah. It's okay we're taking a little extra time for these ayat. That's okay. Quality over quantity, right?
Yeah.
Inshallah. So we'll wrap it up here. Sorry, I didn't get to hear much from you except about your kids. So, Fima, how are your studies going?
Alhamdulillah, it's going great.
Yeah?
catched up because I was quite behind in the beginning of the year. I was 3
Okay.
months behind, and then I've overwatched and kept
Holy Allah.
doing lessons, couple of lessons here, and then Alhamdulillah catched up.
That's really, really awesome. Very proud to hear that. Very happy to hear that. MashaAllah. With 4 boys too, no less. No less.
Yeah.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. What are your children's names?
From the top, Ashraf, Rahima, Uthman, Yunus, Ilyas, Raisa.
Nice names, MashaAllah. Lama ta'diya.
Inshallah, pray for them. Inshallah, pray they become good, salihin, good,
Ameen.
Muslims,
Inshallah, they
inshallah.
are good slaves of Allah and good servants good at serving Allah and good at serving humanity. Inshallah. Lama ta'diya. I'm going to just write a definition. Somebody asked, can I explain lama ta'diya one last time? I'll just write the definition here. The lam that is used for muta'addi fi'ls and can be considered extra.
How's your day?
It
Fun.
stresses al-maf'ul bi. How was my day?
Yeah.
Lazy. Today was lazy, except for the part where I got some work done with Jawad. It was lazy. Yeah, I'm getting intimidated and excited about the Balagha Intensive because I'm so excited that I want to teach you guys this stuff, but there's so much stuff.
It's only a week away now.
Yeah. So I'm like,
So hypothetically, if you don't know, I'm joking. No, sure, inshallah.
inshallah.
Long day fast.
I'm like, oh, I'm going to do 5 sessions a day and it's going to be a 40-minute session and we'll get this session, then break and then 40 minutes and break and 40 minutes 5 times. It's an intensive.
Yeah.
Everybody dies. Right? So,
Ustaz,
yeah.
do you have any? Yeah, I wanted to ask him. I know
I'm going to
you're
give you
really
guys a
busy,
week off
but any plan of coming down to East London?
No. Don't you guys have a small problem called lockdown? Don't you?
I swear there's like a new
No,
variant.
we're not in
London.
lockdown yet. No,
Is ELM back to normal?
we might have one. I mean, but yeah,
East London Mosque.
things are pretty much normal.
Yeah. East. Oh yeah. This one. Yeah.
Did I tell you my ELM story?
No.
My hoodie story?
No.
I don't think so.
So my friend Sheikh Fahim, who lives in Manchester, was giving khutbah at the East London Mosque. And I had already flown into London and I told him, don't tell anybody I'm here, right? He goes, oh, Ustad, you're here. You should give the khutbah. I was like, no, I'm not giving the khutbah. You're giving the khutbah. He's like, oh, just promise me one thing, yeah? Don't come here, yeah? Because I see your face and I'll get intimidated. And I was like, no, don't worry about it. You know what I'm going to do now, right?
You're gonna come.
I'm going to go to the khutbah and I'm going to stare at him and wink at him while he's doing the khutbah. Like
Yeah.
So I go, but I can't let anybody know that I'm, because everybody at the masjid knows me. Everybody. So how am I supposed to walk into Jumu'ah, flooded crowd, a couple of thousand people, and not a single person recognizes me?
You wear a hoodie.
So I wear a hoodie and I do this, like Assassin's Creed style, like this.
Oh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And I sit, and I need to sit somewhere where I know he can see me, so he can get intimidated. So he starts his khutbah, and I'm still like, and then I'm like, I swear to God, he forgot what he was saying. But the problem was, when I did this, there was a guy 4 people down. He went like, and I was like, in video games they have like, if they're recognized.
When was the last time you
red
were?
means he spotted you. It was going yellow. I was like, and then his radar went back down. He started playing with the carpet again, and we're good. Yeah.
I don't know why the carpet's fun.
What did you say? Sophie, why you said something?
No, when was the last time? Yeah, when was the last time you came East London?
Well, I don't even remember. It's been a couple of years.
Sure.
Too long.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Also, you haven't been, you didn't know about Mariam Center, the women's big mosque close to East London. It specializes for women's facilities.
I had no idea. We should bring Mariam there.
Yeah, so that
This is my house.
Mariam Center, yeah.
She looks away. She's like, stop.
Oh, please. Oh, please.
Participate in khutbahs and even a special thingy.
Yeah.
Speakers.
Yeah. What was really cool was getting out of the masjid too at the end. I got out clean. I got out clean.
Bro.
Yeah.
So you got the assassination done?
Yep. I would realize how dangerous I can be.
No one noticed you in plain sight.
Yeah. That was a huge accomplishment.
Really?
Yeah. Because most people, when they recognize me, they don't really believe it. So like, and they just gotta go on. That's okay. London's different. London's different. You know, London has a lot of, mashallah, Muslims that, you know, don't see eye to eye with each other, right? So different kinds of masjids and people like not exactly loving each other. So I knew some brothers walking by as look at this neighborhood, and I knew they're like pretty hardcore, and I'm not. And I'm walking by, they're looking at me like they keep walking, and I was like, Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That's okay. It happens. It happens.
Another brother.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's that. London Monday, inshallah soon. Inshallah. Just waiting for things to settle down a little bit. There's some other countries on my
Inshallah. Do
agenda
let
at
me
the
know.
moment. Yeah, I'll let London know. Inshallah, when that happens. Yeah, my friend Sheikh Fahim wants me to come out, and we'll see. Plus, of course, I want to meet Dr. Akram really badly. It's different when you WhatsApp him. He's so like, when he responds to my messages, I get all fuzzy inside. You know?
Yeah.
So sometimes I ask him a question. You know what he does? He writes an entire article in Arabic based on my question. And in the beginning, he says, "Sa'alani al-Ustad al-Ma'ruf, Nu'man Ali." This famous Ustad Nu'man Ali Khan asked me this question. I was like, why did you say that? Even though it felt kind of gay, say it again. Because he's Dr. Akram. But anyway, yeah. But
Dad, your texting sounds weird.
yes.
Like,
It does.
I remember I texted you, I asked you, are we supposed to do Surah Al-Falaq? You said, yes, my dear child, we're supposed to do Surah Al-Falaq. And then later, like 3 minutes later, you're like, no, don't do it. And then I respond back, so do you want us to do it or not? And then just left it in red.
Yes, that's it. That's the way I text. Okay, this class is prolonged enough. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن الحكيم ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. Take it away, mother of six. Sitta. Oh, you're frozen. Take it away, Ahmed.
Remember,
And remember,
guys,
Perfect timing. Go ahead.
and remember, guys, do your best, and Allah will do the rest.
Oh, down to every
yeah, she
Yeah.
did. You're like,
perfectly executed.
like,
Well done.
that's amazing.
Well done.
Props.